Morning, guys. It's Monday, April 7th, and I just want to show you a little bit of Sugarhouse road update. So I worked on it, I think Saturday. So I had a stump right here that we dug out, and then just kind of worked on the road a little bit, doing some fill up above where I am, kind of get the ditch going. Got a few more stumps to dig out, and then we're going to start widening out the road, both sides, and then figuring out where we're going to put some drain, some culverts, and because there's a lot of water that comes down different places. So I'll show you what we got so far. So there's the Bobcat right here is where I dug out a stump and buried it. Dug the stump out, rolled it over there, and buried the hole, got it filled in. But you can see right here, it's a bunch of water right there by the side by side, and it is coming out somewhere over there. Looks like it's coming out in the woods there, and then it's coming right down here, and it's running, and it's actually just kind of finding its way across. And then there's another one that's coming down from up above, and the two of them are kind of meeting right here in the middle of the road and going off the side, which is fine. You know, you gotta come out here and play around like this and get what you can find out, you know. So it looks like that's a pretty good spot for a culvert, or possibly just dig that out and then have it come down here. Another spot that looked like it was running out was right down here. There was another puddle coming up in the woods. I think it was right there, but I don't see anything coming out of that one right at the moment. So I'd like to put at least one culvert in somewhere between right here, just where this little road is that goes the other way. Put a culvert in between right here and the skid steer somewhere, just to try to get as much water to go away from the road as possible before it gets down to this culvert. So I dug this culvert out and fixed it a little bit, and this is where I bladed. I used the dozer blade with the skid steer and made that ditch, and just pulled the dirt up here. Of course, it's been raining, so it hasn't dried, but once it dries, then I'll just probably just fill that in the middle and see what it is. And it's kind of like half. I don't know, it's got some stone in it, but not much. It'll probably mush right down to nothing. You see where I dug out the culvert, and so now it's actually keeping up, and it's got some gravel there, probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 bucket loads with the little backhoe. Just get those out of there, and then we'll have it so it'll keep up. We'll probably, I'd like to do the stone around it and everything, but I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure how to do it, and I'm not sure if I have enough room to do it. But I know that if you put stone around it, kind of helps them out a little bit, and then it's coming out pretty good over here. So as it stands with this one, this is kind of a narrow spot because it's got, it's a 20 foot pipe. We're losing just a little bit because it's in there diagonal, but I mean, it's all of 20 feet, So right now I would not extend it, but if we decide to take that tree out right there, then we'll probably extend it. If we take that tree out, we'll probably take that little one out, and then You know, these down here are probably okay, but could get another 5 feet out of it. We obviously can't make the road any wider to the right. But 20 feet is, you know, if you can get 20 feet, that's the problem right here is the culvert is actually over here. So the ditch is actually, you know, going, we're going to take this bank back. And we're actually going to have the road probably wider. Wider than the culvert, as long as we can avoid from getting the roots of that tree. And we'll just, that's just a stump that's sitting up there. So we can see where if we go right up through there, it'll straighten it right out quite a bit and gain about, I don't know, probably 8 feet in some places. So then the culvert will be 20 feet. It'll just be a narrow spot. That's probably what we're going to do for this year. I don't really know if we're going to take any more trees down. And then the goal is, as you look down, we're just going to straighten it out more. Kind of go right towards that tree that's cut down. It's actually just sitting on a stump. Go right straight towards that. Fill in down here, fill in quite a bit. And take out a few more trees down there and straighten it out. And straighten it out, fill it in here and there, and then get one heck of a ditch down through here. But I think we're going to put in about one culvert between here and the skid steer, and then another one up above the skid steer. There's a flat spot up there, one up there, and then one down here in this low spot. So I think we're going to add 3 more, and I think we're probably going to try to make them 25. I think we're going to probably try to make them so that they actually cover. So you get the road to be 20, you know, I don't know if you want to get the pipe 25 feet or the road 25 feet, but it makes a little bit of difference. You're going to make the road 25 feet, you need a pipe that's going to be like probably 28 or 30 feet. You're going to make the road 25, you know, the pipe 25 feet, then the road could be like 22 feet or something like that. 22 feet's a pretty good amount of space. And then there's going to be places like this here. I mean, right here, it's going to be 30-something feet wide. So, I mean, you just have to, you know, if people are going down, if people are coming out, you just have to be, you know, just like any other, I mean, there are township roads that are not this wide right here. There's a bunch of them that aren't this wide. So, you know, if you're, you know, I would say if you're going down, you know, you're going down, you would be more likely to be the one to move over so the person coming up could keep their momentum, right? So they don't lose their momentum when they're trying to get up the hill, especially if it's, you know, at all slippery, which during syrup season there's chances of snow and ice and whatnot, and we would obviously do, you know, salt and cinders and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to want to try to get some momentum, right? So that's just a little update. We'll probably go down here, and we're going to go down here at the backhoe on the tractor, and I don't have my big tractor back yet, so I need to feed bales. So I think I'm going to go down here, and I think there's one more stump down here that I could dig out where I was blading the other day. So I'm going to go down here and try to dig that stump out, and then I'll take the backhoe off and go feed bales later. So that's the plan anyway, and then we'll just kind of work on it. You know, it rained quite a bit Saturday night into Sunday, and it rained more Sunday, which was yesterday. So it's kind of wet, but we don't. It's going to be like a high of 40 today. I think like maybe a high of 35 tomorrow. So not going to dry out any, but we just kind of want to get messing around. I got the dump truck. So I have a dump truck. You guys have never seen it. I've never used it when I had a camera around. So I have a dump truck. It is a 1979 Ford F700 I bought, I don't know, 6 or 8 years ago for like $2,000. And I bought it and took it to my neighbor that does some mechanic work. And we put tires on it, put brakes on it, changed the carburetor, and put a electric choke on it, I think, and electric fuel pump. And got it where it runs better, but right now it won't start, the battery's dead. So I've been going over and jumping it with the jump boxes. I've got a couple jump boxes. Those things are awesome. I have jumped everything with them except for, I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think. I guess it did. I was thinking it didn't jump the skid steer, but I guess it did. They did work on the skid steer. But I've jumped tractors with them, cars, trucks, everything. They're awesome. They charge the little, USB-C port. I don't remember what brand I have. They're like $100 a piece. And then I actually have one that I bought from Napa, and I don't like that one nearly as much as the two that I bought from Amazon. But so I actually have had the dump truck started probably half a dozen times or more, but I can't get it to stay running. Has a little bit of a fuel issue. I don't know if it's a fuel line or what, but so if I get anywhere in the next day or so, I'm going to get some sea foam and stuff and just put in it to try to clean it out a little bit. I put gas in it, so it's almost half a tank now, but I've had it running and it's on the well pad, and I've been trying to do laps around the well pad just to make sure it's going to run. And, obviously, maybe it'll charge the battery a little bit. Well, Saturday, I tried to start it. The jump box worked, and I got it started right up, and I went around, made it around 3/4 of a lap on the well pad, and it quit. And then I couldn't get the jump box to work anymore. The jump box has, green and red light. It would go green, and I'd get in the jump truck, and I don't even think I turned the key on yet, and it would turn red, so it turns off. So that's like some kind of, it doesn't tell you anything, any information on it. It's some kind of safety, something's not quite right or whatever. So I thought, well, I'm going to try to mess around with it today. So I took my DJI 1000 power pack over and my Schumacher battery charger over and put it on there and hooked it up and pushed start, and it came up SUL, which is so is it sulfate? Whatever, the ions in the battery aren't quite right, and it actually goes into a desulfate mode, and it said it says from being low charge or poorly improperly stored or whatever, and it actually will just sit there and does some kind of high frequency thing, and it can work itself out. So I thought, okay, well, that's fine. I'll just leave that hooked up for a while. It said it could take up to 10 hours. So I'll go back later and check it out. And because we have a bunch of fill. So the township has been bringing us fill for, I don't know, probably, longer than 2, 3, probably 4 or 5 years, maybe more than that. We've been getting township fill because of the Sugarhouse road and whatnot. And we actually had a big pile up here in the field, and we used the entire thing when we did the cabins to fill around them, and did all the made it so there's a lot of landscaping around it. And the cabins are different heights with each other, so the water runs out. The excavator did an awesome job on that. No, I don't think any other excavator would have thought to do that. But it's all filled in with rock, and then on top of the rock, they use all this fill from the township. So now the township's been building up my pile again, and we're going to use it on the Sugarhouse road. Down in there, we're going to fill that dip in for sure. And then up at the top, we're going to fill in and try to make it so it's not quite so steep going out. Up at the top, I'm going to probably raise it probably 3 or 4 feet, maybe more, just to get so it's not so steep. And people call me crazy, but someday we're going to get a delivery of something maple here. a big box truck or a tractor trailer, and it's going all the way down there and unloading it. I'm not carrying things with my tractor or dragging things with my skid steer anymore. That's the goal. And people say, oh, I agree. Well, the parking lot down there is getting bigger and bigger all the time too. So that's what I have right now. I'm going to jump on the tractor and we will go down and see if we can dig out a stump. And then we'll get the tractor out of here for today. I'm trying to think if I thought there's more stumps, but I know of one other one, but it's right next to another tree, so there's no sense of taking that out unless you're going to take the other tree out. But that's what we're going to do, so we might be back. All right, guys, so obviously it's a little bit louder, but this is the stump. So I hit it a couple times with the dozer blade, and just couldn't. I think it wiggles, but hard part with my backhoe is it's hard to reach around. So you have to move like 3 times to do it, but we'll see. Get it out of here because we can make the road so much wider just by getting it out of here. Just getting tired of hitting it with the snowplow. So I'll just show you what we're doing just a little bit, and then we'll sign off for the day. I can see a root right there a little bit. A lot of rocks in there, so I really want the rocks too. So if we can get them and the stump, that'd be great. Thought it was old enough that it was going to be more brittle, but it doesn't seem to be that way yet. Nice rocks though. There's a part of a root. If I can get that. Might be a little bit too close for that one. So with this backhoe, you just have to find the root, and then you have to go out far enough where it's small enough you can break it. That's how I get stumps out. The one the other day, there was one root that was holding the whole thing. The rest of it really wasn't that bad, but now I can't get it to wiggle, so. Sometimes you can't tell if it's a root or if it's actually a rock that's, standing up. They come out real hard too. I think that's the root. So I just got to find a spot where I can break it. So I'll try to dig 2 sides of it this way, and then turn, dig the other 2 sides. That's how I do it. Some people do it differently. I've seen people do it differently. I know sometimes if you dig real deep, they actually take them and tip them one way. Well, I don't think I have that kind of power to be able to do that. A little bit bigger machine. I know some guys will cut the stump off a lot higher, and they won't dig nearly as much, and they use the stump as leverage. But I don't have that kind of power with my backhoe, so I know I can't do that. So I have to dig out at least 3/4 of it before I can even get it to wiggle, probably. I'm digging back here, trying to see if there's another one on this side. Try to do a pretty thorough job of looking for roots before I move. That's just the way I do it. And you can't dig in a circle, so you gotta dig what you can and then move. And I try to use the, see it, right there's another one maybe. Or was I too close to it? Might have been too close to it and it was the same one. A lot of nice rocks right there. So I don't think there's anything back there, but maybe. Try to go a little bit deeper back there. Small one that looks like probably goes to a different tree. I think that's the same one. I just clicked the corner of it. Maybe not. We'll have to investigate that a little bit right here, see if we're hitting the same one or if it's another one. So I already broke one right here somewhere. So I just kind of try to dig around a little bit, feel a little bit, see if I can see it. That's the same one. It's a rock right there. So now I've got two sides of it, I think, pretty well. So my Bobcat dealer has a deal, or had a deal, I don't know if it's still going, where you can rent an excavator for a week and get a free week, and they were calling it winter special. I wish I had that kind of time off from work, because I would do it. Dig these out a lot faster with it, even just a little excavator, just because you can move so much quicker. And they have, you know, what is it? The one we rented was what, 35 horsepower, but you know, it's the way that they're built. It's a lot of power for hydraulically, where you're not running off another machine's hydraulics like this is. But I wish I had 2 weeks off. But we'll keep an eye on. Maybe we'll get a special this summer. I'd like to buy one. I think everybody would like to buy one. Every farmer that's like me would like to buy one. But you don't give them away either. Oh, there's some, almost looks like they're roots from a different tree, but maybe not. A lot of stone, a lot of stone. You wonder how a tree gets the roots that it does with all this stone. Let's see if we got back there, right in there somewhere. The root there, it turns. Actually turns away from me. Now it's a little deeper. I can't tell if it's the same stump. I guess it is. Turned and went right straight away from me. but it's deeper. Now I can see it wiggling pretty good. Can't believe there's not one between there. That looks much better. I think it's too big right there for me to break. I might have to move again. I don't know. There's another one right there. Nope. All right, well, I don't know. Move around the other side and clean that out. Clean this out on our way out. Move around the other side, clean it out good, and see anything that's holding it. Kind of thought there was one. It would be one right there, but can't tell. Oh, there is one. Looks like right there. Some shale. Right there. Right there. Oh, it's wiggling. There we go. Might got it. Might get it. One root. Held it that much. Need to get my power in the right spot to roll it. There we go. All right. Victory, huh? Go. Got her. Now we just gotta get it out of there. See if I can get it to tip. It's got all that weight on the bottom. Try to flip it, roll it, whatever you can do, get it out of there. If I could get behind that, I can spin it like that. Not quite enough arm to do it that way. Every time I get it almost, then I run out of arm. Oh. If I'll sit there. There. Can't quite run out of room on the, run out of reach. So, got a pretty big hole. Now, it is interesting. Like this is kind of interesting. So over here, right? Over here, got black dirt. Over here, more of a brown dirt. In between is clay. Over here is just like, I don't know, rock, regular looking rock. But over here, I hit shale, like actual pieces of shale, which I rolled up there. So pretty cool. And then right here, the very corner, there's water. So anyway, we're gonna call that a video. Thanks for watching. If you watched all the way in, I appreciate it. I'd like to try some time lapse, but I didn't really feel like it today. But maybe in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more from Triple D Farms, Triple D Maple, Triple D Cabins. I'm Jared. Have a nice day.